Hello everyone. These series of lectures will be specially be for those students, A1s, who would have missed the classes if online solution was not available. This is where IT comes in every time. So we will be discussing theory and practical both. Well, for the practical, you do have those 64 solved solutions of my past papers on my website, sirsaim.com, and alevelit.com. But apart from that, these lectures will be separate. I will upload them for the credit hours that we would have utilized in school. So we'll discuss some past papers of databases, and for theory, chapter 3 and chapter 4 will be my target, and we will also solve one of the past paper. So this is what we will be doing this week and next weeks to come. I will record these lectures and I will share this with you, or they will be available on my website, my YouTube channel, and they'll also be shared in the WhatsApp group. So here we go. Sit back, stay home, take care of yourself, and keep on washing your hands. So let's start. Thank you. And I'll discuss all points with you. Okay, most probably majority of the points you will already know. Just note down the points that you don't know. I'm recording the video as well, and I will put it online today evening. First of all, when you start your paper, you have to first of all inspect your files. Open your files and you have to have a look at your files. Okay? Do you have any issue with the files? What do I mean by issue? You have to see, is your date appearing in DMY format or not? Okay? Or MDY? It should be in DMY. In your other fields, do you have any comma or not? Because if you do have any commas, this will create an issue. You know why? Because once you will import this, you will have these data separated into different columns, because you're importing a CSV file, comma separated value. So there should be no commas within your values, keep in mind. Okay? So inspect your files, have a look. Is your date in the right format? Okay? And one of the most important thing that you should be aware of is the transpositioning. What I mean to say by transpositioning is that, for example, let me open up the other file for that. Okay, for example, this one. Let's say what the examiner does right now is, I'll copy, I'll transpose, here you go. If I want to import this file, will I be able to import this file in Access? What issues will I have? Exactly. You have to look at the fields. Okay? You will be able to import, but the problem will be, these are not your field names, these are your field names. This is not your spreadsheet software, this is your database software. So you have to do is, you have to transpose this. You will copy this, paste, transpose, you will delete this and bring it over here. Now you will be able to import it. So see, do you have the field at the very top? Do you have commas? Is your date in the right format? Do you have the field names at the top? Probably you don't have this at all. If you don't have this, you have to type it in yourself in Excel. You have to look at the following points. So once you have inspected your files thoroughly, then you will start importing it. Okay? Let me import these files first. Text file. Through text file, you will be able to import your TXT file, your RTF file, and your CSV file. Keep that in mind. So browse. Where is the folder? Source files. You will always leave it as delimited. First row contains the field names. Yes or no? Right? If you were importing a TXT file, it would have selected tab, because your TXT file, notepad files, hold the data in tab form. Okay? So you don't have to change anything over here. Just telling you for information's sake. Next, if you want to change anything, go to the advanced and you can change the data types. Okay, let's talk about this bit. Yes, no is Boolean logic, integer, long integer, currency, single, double, these are all numeric. Numeric itself is not a data type. Keep in mind. Okay, so if the examiner says numeric, the examiner is simply saying use double. Just keep in mind. Numeric, use double. If the examiner says integer, use long integer. If there's a price, obviously use currency for that.
Okay, date and time, obviously use date and time. Okay, if there is a URL, you will use a hyperlink for that. Okay, attachment, you will probably not get. OLE is used for movies, videos and all that. Okay, right? Okay. Now, which kind of hyperlink you are an address वगैरह, you can have that. Even OLE object का भी you should have it. Okay, you can attach images for that. Right. Okay. So these are data types. You will change them, and most of all, you will see do you have DMY format or not. Okay. Done with this. Primary key. You have to see, can you make a relevant primary key in your table or not. Okay. Your primary key will be unique key or key field. All the records need to be unique in order to make it a primary key. So I can make this as a primary key. Let me import the other one. I can choose code as a primary key. Yes, I can. Once you have imported your data, you have to give a screenshot showing that these are the data types and these are the field names used. Fine. But afterwards, the examiner might ask you to validate some of them. For example, the examiner might say that validate your title so that it will accept MRS or MR only. So all you do is, you go to view, you come into title, and within the validation rule, you write is this or this. And in the text you will write is right. The advantage of this now is that I have been able to maintain data integrity. Somewhere, if I write over here is MS, it will not accept it. It will say please type MRS or MS. This is validating. How can you validate? How can you maintain data integrity? There are two ways, validation and verification. If you talk about validation, you have different checks available. Same checks that are available in your queries. You have is the range check, enter dates between this and this, numbers between this and this. Okay, comparison operators. You can use wildcards. Okay, you're supposed to enter names only starting with P star. Okay, you're supposed to enter all the names that have second last character as S. How will that be? Second last character as S. Right. Question star S question mark. Right? Good. Well done. So these are the validation rules that you have to apply. Presence check, null is not null. You get the point? Now please try to distinguish this from queries. These are not queries. What are you doing in data manipulation? Data manipulation. You're manipulating data. In what sense? You're bringing it into database software, different file formats. You're importing it, fine. After you import it, you're applying validation rules, fine. After that, you're making relationships. Then you're making queries. Why do you make queries? To filter out the records. Yes or no? Okay? And after that, what I'm doing is, I am producing a report. After I have produced a report, so, the thing I was talking about was, this is validation. How can you distinguish between validation and queries? Two. How can you distinguish that the question is asking you to validate or the question is asking you to add a query? Query is filtering. They will ask you to produce a report that will have the following records. Obviously, you have to use a query. Usse pehle, if the examiner says, कि restrict the following table, restrict the following field in the following table, that will not allow anything else to be entered apart from Mr. and Mrs. This means validation. Wherever the word restrict comes, wherever the word validate comes, this means you have to use validation. And one more thing, the examiner will talk about message. In case of a wrong query, if you apply a wrong query, do you get a message box, an alert? No. You will simply get a wrong result. Either wrong result or no result. You will never get a message box. In case of this, if you enter wrong record, you get a message box telling you you're entering something wrong. Are you following me? So this is how the same criteria that you use within your queries will be implemented over here. But the difference is, again I repeat, third time, this is restricting, that is filtering. Big difference. This is for data entry, that is for data output. You get my point? Okay. What you need to do is, my net is not working right now. You'll go to my website, mrsaim.com. Okay, mrsaim, SAEM.com. Over there, you'll go into IGCSE ICT and theory notes. In theory notes, you have one of the notes as validation rules. Please go through them once. Okay, it will just take 5-10 minutes. To be on the safe side, go through these. There's a probability this time the examiner might ask you about validation rules. You should be careful about it. Okay. Okay. So we have also discussed about validating data. You'll go through those validation rules notes and make sure you know them. After you've done this, after validation, you have a step of creating relationship. You will not create a relationship first and then validate. There's a sequence you have to follow. Okay? You'll come into relationship, but I would recommend don't directly come to relationship. Open up the tables, take a blank paper, take a pencil. And if you have 3-4 tables in which you have to make relationships, first decide. Okay, I'll make a relationship between code and I can make a relationship between location. Why? Location is different. Fine. Your field names could be different. The field name is location. This is code. Doesn't make a difference. Your records do coincide. Records are the same. In order to make a relationship, in order to make a suitable relationship, we have to look at what? The records. Do the records coincide? Yes, they do. I am not concerned about the field names. They could differ. So I can make a relationship of this with this. Yes or no? Secondly, you will not make a relationship of names, addresses, telephone numbers, because frankly it doesn't make sense to relate them. Codes, fine. Branch code, fine. VI numbers, fine. Something that uniquely distinguishes a record can be used for a relationship, keep in mind. Okay? Names do not distinguish every record. Okay? People could have same name and they will have different records, so it doesn't make sense. So logically switch over what you're doing. Right? Okay. So if I make a relationship of this and this will be one to many. Why? Because code is appearing once and my location is appearing many. So one to many. This is known as a primary key, this is known as a foreign key. Yes or no? So the relationship between this and this is one to many. The relationship between a primary key and a primary key is 1 to 1. If you have another table where you have a primary key again, that is 1 to 1. And one more, which is many to many, is if you are making a relationship between location and location where they are repeating. But many to many is not in our syllabus. So you will not do that. 1 to 1, 1 to many is on our syllabus, and this can definitely come. Okay? Now how will we create it? Since you are doing your paperwork at the same time, I would definitely suggest you to do that. Okay? Write down what you have to do. You will not get confused. Okay? During the exam, you have a bit of pressure. It's not the same scenario as if you're sitting in your lab right now. So in order to calm yourself, try to do some paperwork. It will help you a lot. You will not get confused. I'll add these two. And over here, I decided to make a relationship of what? The code with location. Yes or no? One to many? Ho gaya? You will give a screenshot of this in your evidence document showing one to many relationship is there. You will be asked to take either a screenshot of this or either to produce a report of this. Right? Yeah, I'm recording. So you can go to relationship report, go to the design view, and over here in the page footer, as you know, in the page footer we can add our text. In the report footer we do our calculations, function formulas, you know that. So I can take a printout of this. But this will be done when you've been asked to make a relationship report. Okay? Otherwise you take a screenshot. Huh? The examiner will say, take a printout of the relationship report. Relationship report. So that was a report. Otherwise, this can go in your evidence document as it is. Fine? Okay. We are done with this. Now I will come to the next step. See, we are going step by step. We have to now do is, the question says, okay, make a report or produce an invoice, okay, or display the result in a printable format. Different words could be used. Please don't limit yourself to just one word. For that, obviously, first of all, you have to make a query and then you have to make a report. You know that. So we will discuss the different types of criteria. Let me add some records and let's talk about the maximum possible criteria we can talk about. I'll start with very basic. Fields, these are the fields, the tables. Do you want to sort them in descending order? Do you want to show them or not? And the criteria. First of all, let's talk about the OR. What do I mean by this? Okay, what I'll say is that, let me first of all see, BA and M. Okay, location is BA. Obviously, it will show me BA. Okay, and the name starts with M, M star. What do I get? I get is this, BA, or do you see this? M, BA or M. Because what I've done is, I have added BA or this in the other line. This is why this OR means to distinguish between two fields. This field or this field, you have to come down. So please read the question carefully. Is the examiner asking you to compare two fields? If yes, then put it down. If there's a third one, you put it here. If there's a fourth one, you put it here. You diagonally, you keep on going down, you're comparing different fields. Yes or no? Is this clear? This field or this field? So please read and try to understand the question. This point again has not come till now. Be very careful about this point. ये नहीं आया अभी तक, ठीक है? And if I talk about this, if I place this over here, what is this? And. Very well done. This is and. This means display me this and this. Okay? And if I write something over here, let me just see what do I have. VE. Obviously, you do know this means to display this or this, but the reason why I'm telling you this basic point is that this OR has O capital and this OR has O small. The reason they have done it to tell you that this OR means something else and that OR means something else. Be careful about it. They are not the same OR, please. Yes or no? Okay, so if you have to apply this, don't do this. Don't, this was VE. You get the right result. Bilkul, right now you're getting the right result. But this will create issues afterwards. For example, I typed M star. Okay, you will have issues. This basically means what? This means the location is VE and name starts with M, or the location is BA. Yes or no? I'll tell you another way. If you have a confusion about this, come into the SQL view. मैं ये जो last है ना, इसको मैं copy करता हूँ and I just want to show you this. It's too big. Let me just. I'm not asking you to know about it. I just want to show you क्या हो रहा है इधर. It's saying the car sales location, where the car sales location is BA or the car's location is VE and this. If you look at this, this is giving me a lot of idea linguistically what's happening. Yes or no? The SQL view gives me some idea. If you get confused during the examination, you can get some idea to what do I have to do. Yes or no? You get the point? This is just, why am I telling you this? In case you want to be sure, okay, whatever I have applied, is it right or wrong? Come to the SQL view, just try to read the last two lines. You will get some idea, okay, fine, exactly, this is what I wanted to do. And my result is fine. You can be confident. Okay, such a kind of complex queries can confuse you. And you have to be confident. वैसे it will not be an issue, just for safe side मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Okay, done with this. Then you know the comparison operators, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. That's not an issue. You know wildcards, star, question mark, yes or no? What's question mark is? I want to display all the names that have. You have to do is have n as a second character. Display me all the names n as a second character. Very good. Question mark and star, yes or no? So if I write question mark and star, but there is an issue in this. There is an issue in this tool. इसमें issue होता है. The issue is I get this error. Why? Exactly. You need to put this on your own. Whenever you use more than one wildcard, you have to put the double quotes yourself. So now if I use it, I get n as a second character. And then you have, okay, basically what we mean is, star means what? Try to understand. Star means that all 256 characters represented by star, question mark represents one character. So this basically means ignore all the characters coming before n. Whatever comes, I'm not concerned. Yes, after n, there should only be one character. This means I'm talking about the second last one. You get my point? Good. Okay. Then, I don't have to repeat it because I'm recording this. I'll upload it. So you can have a look again. Then I will directly come to your runtime calculations, which are very important. Over here, I do have is the registration date. Examiner could directly ask you this time, tell me how many years have this particular car been registered for. Create a new field at runtime that will display the yes, registered. Field का नाम है registered for years, for example, and then I want to find out that this particular vehicle has been registered for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I have the registration date. हम डेट यूज कर लेते हैं, not today. Okay, now have a look. What do I get? I get over here two things. I get today's date and I get today's date and time. How did I get that? Using two functions, date function and the now function. Now function gives me the date and the time. Date function gives me just the date. So I don't have to manually enter, but good, you could do that, but that will not be dynamic. Every day you will change the date, it doesn't make sense. Whenever you produce a result in ICT, make sure it's dynamic, which means it will work every day when you use it. And every time you change the results, it will obviously definitely work. So, since you know there's a function known as date, there's a function known as now, but I don't have to use now because I don't have the time. I will name it as, let's say, new. And all I need to do is date minus so I get is what? This is what? So yes or no? Days आ गए, years आ गए, मगर wrong. I want whole years. So what do? Very good. I get the years. Yes or no? Fine. So that's how I will find the years. Is it clear? Okay. It's just one of the case I have selected. Examiner could obviously ask you in a different way. You should be able to handle such a kind of situations. Yes or no? Thank you, dear. No, I just added for over here, int. Why do you have to go there? Well, fine, you can do it from there as well. Yes, sure, from there. So you can use int, you can use round, you can use round up, round down. You can use all of them. Yes or no? Fine, no issue. Next, let's come to the next part. You should be able to use the functions I mentioned yesterday. I made a list of them. Yes or no? I did. You want me to make it again? Do you remember all these functions? You should know them. I was talking. Okay. Yes or no? These are the functions that you should know how to use them in the runtime of Access. Okay. Obviously we don't have time. I can explain you all of these. Okay. You will try yourself. I will try format. I did explain you yesterday. Okay. The rest of them can be implemented. Just remember these can come. This is the concatenate ampersand sign, which means to join two fields together. You cannot use concatenate because it's not acceptable in Access. You have to use ampersand. इसको ampersand कहते हैं. Okay. Okay, I'll do it. For example, I can do is I have name 1 and let's say I have name 2 and I want is the full name. So what I can do is I can write over here is name 1 to be concatenated with name 2. If I do this, obviously I do get is the full name, but there should be a space in between. So you come here and you concatenate name with a space and space with the name again. So you get is the full name. So we have a new field at runtime that has joined two fields together. Yes or no? No. Spaces, yes. Why? Because space is a character. It's user defined. You have to put one. Fine. So, because no, within the commas I have a space. Okay, because it's a character. Okay, always consider your space as a character, please. It is one of the character. Okay, so you will apply these functions and you will make sure you have at least tried them once and you know how to use them. Okay, since because of the limitation of time, I cannot implement them. Still, if you have an issue, I will try to discuss with you on Monday. Okay? Okay. Next. No, beta, I can't make it up. Beta, I'm busy the whole day in other branches as well. Okay? Achha. So once you're done with all these, one thing very important. Once you produce your result, please make sure to see how many records do you have. If you have hundreds of records, something is wrong. Which means your report should maximum be of 3 to 4 pages. इससे ज़्यादा नहीं. If your report is coming up to 5 to 6 pages, something is wrong in your criteria. Please don't send a printout. Be sure. Okay? As a last resort, you can't figure it out. कुछ नहीं हो रहा. 5 minutes left. Okay, send the report. Because why am I saying so? Because you will not get the marks for the records, but yes, you will get marks for other things. Heading, footers, you will get at least 60% of the marks. मिल जाएंगे. Okay? But you have to be very careful about these things. Okay? Right. Next, what we need to discuss is this. the query wizard, all these four. They're very important. All four are important. The first one is the simple. Why do we use it? For example, what I want to do is, the question says, you might have done this before. Do I have a numeric? I don't. Meanwhile, I'll just open up some other database for this particular point. Fine. I will use this one. The question says over here is that you're supposed to find out, I think so I gave this example yesterday as well. I did. Display a report, a summary report that displays the make and the total sum of the fuel. You've done this. Product, country, Iowa. You've done it. You remember how to do it? May I repeat because since I'm revising, let me do it. The best way to deal with this is use the query wizard. I repeat the question. Display the make and the total fuel, which means your General Motors should appear once and the total fuel of General Motors should appear in the next column. And the next third column probably could even have the count, kits appearing how many times. Well, use your simple query wizard. Add over here is your make and add over here is the fuel. I would like to find the sum and I would like to count as well. So I get is the make, the total sum and the count. I would export this into Excel or Word. Word if you directly want to take it. Excel if you want to make a chart or graph. If the examiner says export in chart graphing package, it's Excel. If it says document protection software, it's Word. Okay? So all I can do is I can select this and I can make chart. I can enable the secondary axis. Yes or no? I can use a line graph as well. I would prefer. But line graph is used when there's a lot of variation in the values. Over here there is not a lot of variation, so bar graph can also be used. When you have tens and thousands of variation, then line graph is more suitable. I can have the minimum value for this as 6. How do I do that? The minimum value should be 6, right? Okay, I'm just experimenting, although this was not supposed to go over here, but since it's just a question. Change series 1 to make series 1 sum, right click, select data, series 1, edit, series 2, edit, right? You know in the layout how to add the header, the y-axis and the x-axis, you know all that. You will copy and you paste the graph. Yes or no? You done with this? Fine. Let's come back. Okay. The next part, let me use the same query to do what? Create a cross tab. Okay. Cross tab basically is your results will be displayed one field over here, one field over here, and in the between you will have some other record. Let me choose, for example, one field on this side and zip code in the other one, and in the middle I have the fuel. You'll just get an idea what I'm saying. So make, zip code and fuel. Let's go to query wizard, cross tab. Okay. So I'm using is this field. What do I want in the row? I want the make in the row. What do I want in the column? Column, can you read this? Column. I want is, let's say, the zip code field to come in the column. What do I want to intersect in between? The fuel. And I would like to count the fuel, or probably sum the fuel. Sum the fuel. I get something like this. My zip codes are appearing at the top, my makes are appearing on the row wise, and in the middle I have the fuel sum. It's two-dimensional array. It's representing you data in a short, compressed, summary form. The reason why I am doing this with you is crosstab is not directly mentioned in your syllabus, but it is because the examiner is saying again and again that students should know how to summarize data. The examiner did not say just to simply summarize it. You might summarize through crosstab. You might be asked to summarize by unmasked, by duplicates. Anyway, okay? Just like in Excel, when they say the following function and formulas are included, it does not mean that only these are included. There are more. If we talk about math functions, there are more math functions apart from these. So you can't limit it. Yes, the limitation is up to me, what I have to teach you. Now, obviously, I can't teach you 11 points. That doesn't make sense. We have to limit it, right? Okay. The next is your duplicates. I think so. I did discuss this yesterday. Do I have to do it again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll do it again. Over here, what I have is this. Yes or no? Do I have over here? I have all duplicates. I want. Which car is this? Seat. Is there a car named by Seat?
Yeah.
Seat? I don't know. People eat in Seat? Okay. Okay. We'll make some changes to it. Instead of General Motors, I'll just make it General. And in case of Ford, I'll make it Ford M. Fine. Now, if you have to find out duplicate values and you want to remove the unique values, please don't do it manually. There is a way. You come to Query Wizard, you come into Find Duplicates, you select that particular table, select that particular field where you have to find out the duplicate values. Do you want any other records to come along? And you get all those makes where you have duplicate values and you will not get any single value. And you will prepare a report and you will print it. But before I proceed with this part, before I discuss the unmatched, I will directly discuss with you is the grouping. You know how to group, right? Group data. Okay? Go to report. Make sure you are within the layout view. There are different ways to group. I'll just tell you the easiest way. There are different ways. Over here, if the examiner says that you're supposed to group by make, create a report that groups by make. Right click over here and exactly. So you have been grouped by make. Further, you can even group by something else as well. Probably I can group by fuel. Yes or no? I've been grouped by fuel as well. But I don't want fuel to come over here. I would like fuel to come over here. We did discuss this yesterday as well. You just drag and bring it up. Here you go. This is your group report. Yes or no? Yes. If you guys can digest and you won't vomit, can I discuss one more point? Will you? Vomit? No. Okay. You have to create another report that will group the owner by the first initial. You get the point? A वालों के अलग report बने, अलग group. B, C, D. How can you do this particular point? Grouping by the first initial. So you'll come here, create, come to the report wizard. And you add these. Fine. Okay. I would like to group by the owner. Yes or no? But I will come to the grouping options. And I would like to group by the first letter. Or probably the first two. 3, 4, 5. 5 is the limit. Who कर लेंगे? We can do it afterwards. First कर लिया. Next. Do you want it to be sending your answer? Whatever you want. Owner. Sending. ठीक है? Okay. Next. What do you want to be like? Fine. And here you go. A different. B different. D different. I've grouped by the first initial. Done with this. Let's come back. We were discussing unmatched. Unmatched क्या है? You're trying to compare two different tables. I gave you an example yesterday. Your transaction file. master file and a new master file. Okay, a master file, new master file will always have records, new records. So what I'll do is, to create an example, I will copy this, I'll paste this, कर दिया, ठीक है? I have two tables that have quite the same values, yes or no? All I need to do now is, I will remove this. What else did I do? Oh, sorry. And probably there was the third one? No? There were only two? Fine. So I have now two tables, this table and this table, that have 2 or 3 records that differ. So if you want to find out those records that differ in these tables, we will use for that is the unmatched. I want to compare is this one with this one, yes or no? Okay, please be attentive what I'm doing. This could be an issue. I'm going to compare this one with this one. And I would like to compare the make with make. I would like other fields to come. It's working. ठीक है ना? So you have to be very careful the fields that you're choosing from. Yes or no? Okay? Let me do this again. I've selected. Then I've selected this one. Okay? I don't get anything. Why? Please be careful. जी जिसमें record exist करते हैं उसको पहले और उसको बाद में. Please be careful. Anyway, if नहीं समझ आ रही, simple सी बात है, then do it again. First like that one and then select that one. So don't get confused, don't waste your time. जिसमें record exist करते हैं. Compare that one, जिसमें different है, and then the other one. Okay? Right. Okay. So we have discussed the query wizard. Fine? Okay. Yes. As far as your reports are concerned, you do know how to add the calculations, for example, the sum of fuel within the header, the count, the average. You know how to do all that. That's not an issue. You need to adjust your report in such a way that it does not come on the next pages. Please be careful about that. आपने इसका ख्याल रखना है. Next is forms. Forms. It's something that has been added new. There's a possibility of coming in. Forms को कहते हैं यहाँ. It's known as your front end as well. There's a front end, there's the back end, there's the middleware. Back end is your table. Middleware is the queries that connect it, and the front end is your form. So what if I want to create a front end through which I can do what? I can enter my data directly over here. How is that? I would like a way to enter the data. So all I do is I go to create and I will click on form. Yes or no? Just click on form. It's very easy. Creating a front end is not a problem. Just click on this. Once you do this, what you will see is, this is what I get. I could even reduce it. Leave it. Here you go. I get all the records. It's not a report. It's a form, please. It's not a report. I can view all the records, but I don't want to use this. I should always make something that has my own buttons. I will create two kinds of buttons. Command buttons and navigation buttons. And then I will also discuss with you is the combo box. Drop down menu. How to make one. मैं आज वो भी discuss कर लेता हूँ. Okay? That could also come. Let me just reduce this a bit. And over here I'll have the navigation buttons. So I'll make a button. Make sure buttons are of the same size. It looks nice. It's not a compulsion. Go to the next record. Make another button. Go to the previous record. And you can keep on adding. So if you view this, I can go to the next record and I can go to the previous record. These are your navigation buttons. I could even add is this. Go to the first record and then go to your last record. I should put them in same line. I'm just not wasting my time. But yes or no. Fine. You can't go because you are. These are your navigation buttons. I will make the command buttons over here.
So will this be printed when we...
You will take a screenshot. This can't be printed. You have to take a screenshot. You cannot print this. There is no way. Now you will do is you will make your command buttons, okay? Please, why am I using these words again and again? Important hai. Navigation buttons and command buttons, so that you don't get confused in the exam, okay? So here you go. Now command buttons will do this. I want to add a new record. Once I've added a new record, I would like to save that new record. Once I have saved a new record, probably I would like to delete that record. Yes or no? So now if I go to new, I can add a record. Now I won't remember. Done? Save it. Okay. Now add record. Let's see. ये हमने किस पे ऐड किया था? Did we add over here? Did we add over here? Or over here? Yeah, we added in this one, not the other one. So the record has been added. Yes or no? Maybe the examiner might say, give a proof that your record has been added as well. Although I should not be recording this, there are many ways that you can fool the examiner, but please don't try doing it. Okay? One or the other way, the examiner might find it out and you will not get a credit for that. Okay? Well, that's the last resort. Then you have to obviously. Now you can't do anything. Like I just said, okay, report me, you have many records coming in. You can't do anything, print it out. Doesn't matter. You will get some credit for that. Instead of not giving any printout, both of that will be a ridiculous thing to do. Okay. So we have discussed how to make is forms. Your forms will be saved separately. This was in the form. Separately. Okay. You can even have over here another button, the last one I'll discuss, the last button, which will be to quit the application. In applications, quit application, quit, or you can name it as exit. So if I click on this, it will close access. Okay? You are quitting the application. Right? So this you made. Labels. Probably we discussed labels. You know how to make labels, and you should labels. You know how to use different kinds of labels for 2 columns, for 3 columns, for 4 columns. You know the label size. Okay, keep that in your mind. Yes or no, all of you. Okay, in metric and in English, there are 2 different sizes that you have to make labels for. Right? Okay. This. Okay. Okay, before I end this, I'll just randomly discuss some of the queries to see where you stand. Okay, I want to make a report that will include all the makes. Sorry, I want to make a report that will include no make. What will I type in the criteria? Did you get my point? Where there is no make, So what will type? Is null. Very good. So we'll type over here is null. So you'll get is only the null. And the other way around, you don't want one, is not null. Right? Is not null. You will not get the null values. Yes or no? I want to find out all those. I don't have an example over here, but you have done this before. Just a question. Remember the Biro in the blue? Find out Biro blue came in 2088. Huh? Yes, very good. Find out all those properties where the word Biro and blue is appearing. So star, Biro star, and star, blue star. Yes or no? Okay? You know that as well. You know about the OR as well, right? When you have to find out a particular word within a string means the sentence likha hua hai. There are lots of sentences. You want to find two words. Okay, the word Biro and blue is appearing within the sentence. So star, Biro star will help you find out all those sentences mein Biro is coming. And if you want blue to appear as well with it, so likho and star, blue star. So star, Biro star and star, blue star. You can even use OR if you want to. When I want to display a report where, let's say, iski jagah tha notes, where the notes contain these two words, when I want to find out, okay, all those records in which the words are in. So you will use one word and the other word. Criteria mein likhi. Bilkul. Right? Very good. Is not. Sorry, you got the point, huh? His question is very much valid. What if you don't want these two? Find out all those records that do not contain Biro and blue. Not? Yeah. Star, Biro star, and star, blue star. So it will not display you both of these. Fine? Keep one thing in mind. Abhi tak ICT mein you had internet available. So students were able to figure out any confusion that they had. This time you have no internet available. Internet is switched off. So this time if you get stuck, you don't have a way out. So you have to be prepared well. Why am I telling you right now? Obviously still you have time. You can prepare yourself. Obviously I think so you know this. There is no internet available over there in this examination. That's why you didn't do communication, the email part. Right, yes. No, it's funny. It's a syllabus. It's a rule now. For the new syllabus, no internet to anywhere around the world for the exam.